Hot damn. Went from 11 hours to 7. That bodes well. Here's a jar. Well, that's the jar. There's a picture of the jar. I threw the deck of cards on there to give you guys an idea of how big the jar was. Because I figured if I took a picture of the jar and sent it to you, I have no idea it was, you know. You had it in class with me on Wednesday, but you probably didn't remember that. So there's the jar. Let's hear some estimates. How many beads you think are in that jar? How many beads are in that jar? So here's one look at it. There's the more straight-on look at it. There's a side view, so you get an idea. There's the very tip top. I thought some of you might be interested in that shape of that the top of the jar there, because it's not quite rectangular. They got Max in the hot tub. Yeah. So, what do you think? Give me some estimates. 1,300. Love it. Thank you, Sonny. Give me some other estimates. 2,000, 1,250? 1,250? Put a little frequency count next to it. Keep track of it. That's good. Give me some other ones. Who else thought about this a little bit?
2230.
2230? 1,800? 2230? Is that what I heard? Okay. And tell me your name again.
Linda.
Linda, thank you. And I heard 1,800? Good. Who else? Tell me your name.
Tanner.
Tanner, and you said?
1,500.
1,500. Love it. Cameron, what are you thinking?
4,000.
4,000. Cameron says you're all insane. It's way more than that.
I'm thinking.
We're thinking maybe. Go ahead. And this is also very interesting because I'm asking you to give me your best guess estimates at what you're seeing here. But you're hearing everybody else saying things. Try to ignore that. Go with your gut. Go with what you think it is, even if it's completely different. Trust Cameron. 4,000. How with all of you? 4,000. Go ahead. What do you think? Here. You want to hand it around? It's glass. If you want to take a look at it more closely, it's yes, it's glass. So just be careful. I couldn't find a nice looking plastic one. That ain't cool.
I want to say 6,000.
So take this away and say 6,000. Wow. So we're gonna take that estimate and multiply it by 4-ish. I like it. 5-ish actually. 5-ish. Good.
Sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
Oh, he said I betrayed him.
Yeah.
It's 1250 solidarity. 1250 solidarity, you know. You need like a symbol, like a Roman numeral or something. Gang sign. Michael, what do you got?
Grand.
A grand, 1,000 even. Make that 6. All right, beautiful. Now, I think these are all listed one time, so it seems kind of silly to write that now.
Well, one of them was twice.
Well, but she changed it to 6,000. You were busily examining, which is great. All right. So here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Put me down for 10.
10,000?
Yeah.
10,000. You didn't have a guess originally. And tell me your name one more time.
Crystal.
Crystal, thank you. That's right.
There's a lot of beads in here, you guys.
Okay. Well, now here's the deal. You didn't have the jar over the weekend to do the estimation. All you had was these pictures. So from these pictures, can we get a rough ballpark idea? What mathematical idea do we have to use here? What mathematical idea? Linda?
I tried to look at your bottle there, but it was really blurry and couldn't see.
This guy over here?
Yeah, how tall that was.
Yeah, it's 1.5 quart. It's this guy here. And I didn't even think about it. I should have taken it out of the picture. I was just, the deck of cards was kind of what I was shooting for. And then I realized after the fact that deck of cards really isn't all that important. Because all you need to know is how many beads, not how big the beads are, just how many there are. So I apologize for making it blurry. I'm not the best photographer. I left the level and the dirty rag and the thumb drive in there too. And a big piece of the GoPro tucked in the corner there apparently.
It's a still life.
Well, it's a still life, exactly. A very poor one. So, what mathematical idea are we using here? What mathematical idea? There, be brave! Be brave and loud. It's the same one you used on Wednesday. It's volume. How many beads are in the jar?
A lot.
Well, the jar is filled with beads, which means the space inside the jar is containing beads, which is a 3-dimensional measurement, isn't it? 3-dimensional measurement, which means we've got volume. We've got length. And that's why I tried to give you as many pictures as I could. I tried to give you the front view. The front view, if you will, gives you a width and a height. And then the side view gives you a length and a height. And with those two measurements, you kind of get pretty much, that's kind of blurry too, I apologize. I think it gets the job done though. With those two measurements, you got the entire thing, huh? Benji, what's on your mind over there?
What I was thinking was the length is about half the width.
The length is about half the width.
Only
So
by eyeball.
that's cool. That's cool. So this is roughly half that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So if we say that, let's go with that maybe. Let's go with that. We'll say. Does anybody want to counter that with a different measurement? Say no, I think it's more like 3/4, or I think it's more like equal. Yeah, right. And it's kind of nice to have it here in front of us, isn't it? It's kind of nice to have it here in front of us. We can go, okay, so there's that. Estimation using my fingers.
It's almost twice as big.
Look at that. I agree, especially having it here in front of us.
That's exactly.
I didn't measure it, but I like your argument. So if I go like this, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. That's perfect. So let's swing this over there. There we go. And let's zoom in. Oh, this is gonna be sick.
Is it on?
It is. Slide this down. Why is that not really going down? Oh, I can do it here. That's right. Boop, boop. Back out. Oh, sorry, GoPro, you've been replaced. All right. So we got ourselves a bottle. So here's the bottle dimensions. I like where we're going with this. So we'll do the front. Now, the problem with the front of this bottle, as we've seen, anybody else want to take a more close look at it as we deal with this? No.
So one side is going to be X and the other one's going to be 2X.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Go. Good. So, front view. What shape is the front of this bottle? Basically a rectangle. I like that. Nobody called it an octagon, which it technically is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But the top of it doesn't have beads in it.
It does actually.
Huh?
It does.
Oh, well.
I filled it all the way to the top and I shoved the top on. The beads are sticking right there.
Okay.
But
I can't see that though.
But you can't see, that's why I wrote the bottom of the class, so you can turn around and look. But what we can do is adjust the height of the rectangle to allow for that. In other words, we might want to treat this as a rectangle, and then, you can't see this because the camera's pointing the wrong way. Treat this as a rectangle, and maybe just say, okay, if I come across the top like this, there's this bunch of extra stuff. Let's just pretend the rectangle's a little bit higher to bring those beads into it. Estimate, right? Estimate. Make the room a better shape, and then deal with the extra spaces in its own way. Does that make sense? You guys buying that?
Yes.
Good. So I'm going to go ahead and draw two views of this bottle. We'll draw the front view, and we'll draw the side view. And I'm going to make them rectangles. We're going to ignore that top and lump it in with everything else. Estimate. Right? Not looking for exact answer here. Looking for estimate. An estimate. Cool so far? Now, tell me your name one more time.
Tori?
Tori, you said call this X.
Yes.
I think that was a great idea. And then, according to a Benji's estimate, what are we going to call this over here, even though I didn't draw it very well?
2X.
We're going to call it 2X. Because we said it was about twice as big. Please.
I was noticing that the height,
Uh-huh.
the length plus the width.
So about 3X. Love it.
That's what I was thinking.
Love it! So let's grab the bottle again. Actually, maybe we can do it from the picture up here. If you can keep the bottle. If you're not supposed to see the bottle, we can pass it around. Let's throw the picture back up. Oh, it's here. So we're calling this 2X, right?
Yeah.
We're calling this 2X. If we swing that, be careful here. Swing that up like that. There's 2X. Now actually, maybe 4?
Yeah.
Maybe 4? And you see how it went past the shoulder?
I see what you did, yeah.
I like the 4 idea. Why do I like going past the shoulder?
Because we're adding for the additional beads.
Right? If we're going to pretend it's a rectangle, we have to deal with that extra neck and the beads up in the top. But if you think about it, if we just take that thing and shove it down, it'll create a rectangle anyway. Is that cool? Is that
Yeah,
jive?
I
Is that
think
jive?
that'll work.
Let me do it again. I'll make sure I did it right. Is that about the same? Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah-ish.
yeah. I got it.
I think I can live with that.
I could too.
I think I can live with that. So, over here, I think we got ourselves a height. Why am I trying to make it, why don't I just make it an octagon? Why am I pushing this rectangle idea so much? Because I'm a...
Because it's
Right! It's just length, width, and height. You have a nice formula for a cube or for a rectangular prism. Oh, it's 4x. Oh, it's 4x. I think we got ourselves a volume.
yeah.
What's the volume of this thing going to be in terms of x?
4x times 2x times x.
Come here. Brittany, thank you. 4x times 2x, 8x cubed. The volume of this bad boy, the volume of this bottle is going to be 4x times 2x times x, which becomes 8x cubed. Love it. Love it. I'm sorry, this board with the big thing sticking out. Yeah, if you guys want to... I apologize at this time, I'm sorry. This big elevator shaft sticking out kind of blocks the view for that board. I'll try to remember that and use these boards mostly. Awesome! There's one small problem. I think we can fix it relatively quickly. What's the small problem, Ariel?
What is x?
What is x? What is x? I don't know what x is, hence the estimate idea. So how are we going to figure out what x is?
How many beads fit in a protected card box?
Oh, I like that idea. How many beads fit in a deck of cards? The problem is I didn't bring deck of cards today. I didn't think about that, actually. I put everything else in the closet except the deck of cards.
About 2 inches.
About 2 inches of beads. I love that. The problem is how big's a bead? I didn't bring the beads are in the bottle, but you're not allowed to take it out because due to the amount of tape I put on the bottle, it's going to be very hard to get the top out.
I would say the beads are about a centimeter cube.
Oh, about a cubic centimeter. One of my favorite units of all measurements. A cubic centimeter. Why is a cubic centimeter? Why am I so excited about a cubic centimeter? What else is it called? It's also called a milliliter. Isn't that beautiful? You're not sharing my enthusiasm. A milliliter and a cubic centimeter. That means in the metric system, you've got a volume and a length measure that are related to each other. Think about our units of measurement: gallons, pints, quarts, feet. How are they related? Not at all. There's no tie. Isn't it amazing? And the meter itself is actually related to like the circumference of the Earth. Like the whole metric system is actually tied to like logic. And then we use the other one. Us and like one other country in Africa, I think, use the other system. Everybody else, and Thailand. There we go. There's 3 of them. There's 3. Everybody else uses metric. Anyway, sorry, off soapbox. How are we going to figure this out? We can say maybe it's a cubic centimeter by looking at it. I love that. Can anybody? The problem is you didn't have that this weekend, but I still expected you to bring estimates today because I'm a bastard. So how could you have done it with this? All I gave you are these pictures. How could you have done it, Benji?
Just count it with your fingers.
How about we just count? I mean, you guys, think about what you guys did in class on Wednesday. You were walking back and forth in this room. You were using arms. You were counting tiles. You guys were all over this. Why don't we just count? All right? Everybody, do it right now. Either use the bottle or use this picture. And if you have to come up here to do it, come up here to do it. That's totally fine, too.
It was less than 100.
Give me, it is pretty blurry. I apologize. Sorry. It's the one that didn't come into focus. But I think there's enough colors to give you an idea. Anybody else? Come on, please, come on. Or just hand the bottle around. That works too. You can shake the bottle and get a reset. I don't know how much it's going to move down there. They're packed in there pretty tight. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Don't the very bottom line.
That's cool too. What I'm doing, I don't know about you guys, I'm just kind of going up, doing one, doing another one, doing another one, and trying to see if there's any kind of a consistent number I'm getting. Eventually says go with the bottom line.
Because all the other ones are,
Right, they're jumbled. The bottom at least seems to be sitting on the bottom. Let's swing back over here. All right, let's go over here, and let's have some estimates for x. I got a feeling these estimates of x. I got a feeling these estimates are going to be a little bit closer together than our estimates for the volume, for obvious reasons. I had a vote for 10. Who agrees with 10? We'll do an X and an F column. X and F. We got 3 votes. 4 votes for 10. 4 votes for 10. Beautiful. Who says 11? 11 wide. 11 wide. We got 1, 2, 3. There you go. Like an auctioneer up here. says 12? No, okay, why don't you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13? 13 wide? Yeah, this is good. This is good. We got 113. Anybody above 13?
I'm gonna go 15.
15. We have one more 11. And we have a 15. Sweet.
I'll be 16.
A 16. Love that too.
Nobody's not.
Nope. Nobody's 9? I'm sorry, I didn't check under 10. I just assumed that 10 was the lowest. Cool. Good. How did you guys get your numbers? How did you guys get your numbers? I kind of did a bastardization of a couple different ideas, but look at me. Go ahead.
I counted the bottom row.
Bottom row, that matches up what Benji said. Yeah. It does get tricky as you count them because you see like that little nubbin right there. What is that?
Is that not a bead?
Well, I think it is.
Is that a bead?
But but the problem is because it's not sitting in a line. The problem with X in there is the assumption is, and how I drew it agrees with this. You draw it like this, and it's a straight line, which means the beads would have to be sitting in a row, in a row, in a row. And as soon as they're not sitting in a row, in a row, in a row, then it's not a straight. It's like me doing backstroke in the pool. I do 25 meters, but I do more like 28 because I'm going like this back and forth because my backstroke sucks. So the beads are doing the same. They're doing a Sean backstroke lay, if you will. So you estimate. You can also use the 1 cubic centimeter idea. Put your pinky down there at 1 and say there's 1, and then count your pinky across, if that makes sense. Now you're making an assumption by doing that. You're making an assumption that the beads are then laying in the bottle evenly, which they are not. Those beads have little holes in them, which means they are packing themselves in. So if you assume they're lying in a straight line, you're going to underestimate the number of beads in there, because when they pack in more tightly. How much? Oh, I know. I don't know at all. So, what should we use for X, or do you think we should maybe use a high and a low and a medium like we did before, and calculate it 3 ways? Yeah? I think that served us well. And I like doing it that way for a number of reasons. Number one, at least 2 of you also like doing it that way. I know it's 8:45 in the morning and it's early to be doing mathematics, but if anybody shows any interest at all, that's a win for me.
Yeah, it's probably safe to go with 12 the mode.
I like 12 for the mode, using that for the center. It's the median, it's the mode. I think we're going to be safe using 12. It's probably the average too, based on the numbers. Even with, we've got some low ends here, but because of these 2 outliers, eventually the average is closer to 12. So here's what I vote. Let's go with 10, 12, and a 16 to get a high estimate. What do you say? Yeah? Let's do it. That's what I'm saying. So, let's do it again. You 3 guys here, you 3 rows here, you calculate the low ball estimate. Okay? You got the next 3, 4 rows, how about? You guys calculate the middle estimate. So you guys are using 10. You guys are using 12. You guys over here are using the 16. The 16. Let's get 3 estimates. I'm going to call this low.
2 plus 2 equals 5.
I'm going to call this medium.
Yeah, she's right.
I'm going to call this high. We're going to pause this for a moment.